People will test your patience. Some will ignore your efforts, belittle your words, and act as if your presence doesn't matter. It's frustrating, isn't it? That feeling of being overlooked, of not being taken seriously, of being treated as if you don't deserve basic respect. We've all been there, whether it's a boss who dismisses your ideas, a friend who constantly undermines you, or a family member who refuses to acknowledge your worth. Disrespect stings. And the worst part, it makes you question yourself. But here's the truth: respect is not something you beg for. It's something you command. And the way you respond to disrespect can either make you stronger or break you down. Think about it. How many times have you replayed a conversation in your head, wishing you had said something different? Wishing you had stood up for yourself instead of brushing it off? Wishing you hadn't let someone else's words affect your confidence? This is not just about dealing with rude people. It's about reclaiming your power. It's about showing up in the world in a way that demands respect without ever having to raise your voice or lose your cool. Because real power is quiet. It's not about proving anything to anyone. It's about knowing who you are and refusing to let anyone make you feel small. In this video, we're going to explore 5 powerful ways to handle people who don't respect you. These aren't just quick tricks to make people like you or fear you. No, these are deep psychological shifts that will change the way you carry yourself, the way you communicate, and the way people perceive you. And to illustrate this, let me tell you a story. Imagine this. You're in a meeting, you share an idea, and the room goes silent. A few seconds later, someone else repeats the same idea, and suddenly, everyone is nodding in agreement. You sit there stunned. Did they not hear you? Did your words not matter? Your heart races, your face burns with frustration, but you say nothing, because you don't want to seem dramatic. But what if, instead of shrinking back, you handled it differently? What if, instead of questioning yourself, you turned the situation around in your favor? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to do just that. You sit there, hands clenched under the table, trying to mask the frustration boiling inside you. The room is still buzzing with excitement over the idea. Your idea. But no one acknowledges that you were the one who first said it. You glance around, wondering if anyone noticed. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. Either way, no one speaks up. And neither do you. This isn't the first time it's happened. You've lost count of how many times your voice has been drowned out, how many times you've been interrupted mid-sentence, how many times someone else has taken credit for something you worked hard on. You tell yourself it doesn't matter, that you're overreacting. That may be if you work harder, speak clearer, or try to be more assertive, people will start listening. But deep down, a question lingers. Why don't they respect me? It's not just in meetings. It happens everywhere. A friend constantly talks over you as if your words are just background noise. A colleague conveniently forgets to include your name on an important email. A family member dismisses your feelings, making you feel as if your emotions are too much, too dramatic, too unnecessary, and every time you let it slide. Not because you're weak, not because you don't care, but because you don't want to start a fight. But here's the problem: every time you let it go, a part of you feels smaller. It's like a tiny voice inside you, whispering that maybe they're right. Maybe your words don't matter. Maybe your presence isn't important. And the more it happens, the harder it becomes to push back. You think about saying something, but what if they laugh it off? What if they make you feel even so, you stay quiet? You force a small smile, nod along, pretend it doesn't bother you. But it does. Later, when you're alone, it replays in your head like a scene from a movie. The moment your idea was stolen. The moment your voice was drowned out. The moment you let it happen. Again, you tell yourself that next time will be different, that you'll speak up, that you'll demand respect. But deep down, you're not sure how. Because the truth is, you're not dealing with just one person. It's not just about that one meeting, that one conversation, that one interaction. It's a pattern, a cycle. And the more it happens, the more it feels like a part of your reality, like this is just the way things are. But then, something shifts. One day, it happens again. Only this time, it's worse. It's a moment so blatant, so undeniable, that you can't ignore it anymore. Maybe it's in front of, maybe it's the way they smirk when they do it, like they know exactly what they're doing. This time, it's not just an idea being taken. It's your effort, your hard work, your credibility being stripped away in front of everyone. And the worst part, no one says anything. No one even hesitates before accepting it as truth. The weight of it presses down on you harder than before. But something inside you stirs. This time, the frustration doesn't fade, it grows. You start to wonder, why do they think they can get away with this ? And then the realization hits you. They don't just think they can. They know they can. Because every time they've done it, you've let it happen. Not because you're weak, not because you don't care, but because you never wanted to be the person who starts a conflict, who makes a scene, who fights to be heard. But now, as you watch it happen again, something inside you shifts. This isn't about avoiding conflict anymore. This is about standing up for yourself. Not with anger, not with aggression, but with quiet confidence, the kind that demands respect without ever needing to ask for it. So this time, instead of staying silent, you take a deep breath and speak. Calmly. Directly. Actually, I mentioned that earlier. The words are simple, but they land with weight. The room goes still for just a second, just long enough for people to realize the truth. You don't raise your voice. You don't accuse anyone. You simply state the facts. And in that moment, something remarkable happens. People notice. They shift in their seats. The person who took credit falters, searching for a response, but there's nothing they can say that won't make it worse. For the first time, you feel it, that power that comes from knowing your own worth. Not from forcing people to respect you, but from carrying yourself in a way that makes it impossible for them not to. The shift is subtle, but it's there. The next time you speak, people listen. The next time someone tries to cut you off, you don't shrink back, you keep talking. And over time, you realize that respect isn't something people give you. But just when you think you've figured it out, life throws one final test your way. A situation even bigger than before. This time, it's not just about an idea or a conversation. It's about a decision, one that will determine how people see you moving forward. Someone challenges you again, this time more openly. Maybe they sense the shift in you. Maybe they're testing to see if you'll revert to your old ways. The room feels heavier, the silence stretching longer. The old you would have hesitated, second-guessed, let the moment pass. But not this time. You meet their gaze, steady and unwavering. Instead of feeling the need to prove yourself, you simply hold your ground. You don't rush to defend, don't seek approval. You've learned that real respect doesn't come from fighting for it, it comes from knowing you already deserve it. And in that silence, something powerful happens. They back down. Not in defeat, but in recognition. They see it now. The change in you. The confidence, the self-assurance. From that moment on, things are different. Not because the world has suddenly become fair, but because you have changed. You walk into rooms differently. You speak with purpose, and when people test your boundaries, you don't waver. The respect you once craved now follows you, not because you demanded it, but because you started carrying yourself as someone who deserves it. Looking back, you realize the biggest lesson wasn't about handling disrespect. It was about understanding that people treat you the way you allow them to. And when you start valuing yourself, the world begins to reflect that back at you. So the next time someone tries to dismiss you, remember this. You don't have to fight for respect. You just have to earn your worth. The rest will follow.